We're back. Welcome back, Inside Fighting. This is actually another episode of Insider Betting, the weekly show where we give you guys our best picks and predictions for whichever UFC card is on the way. This weekend, we have UFC Abu Dhabi. Yes, sir. Finally, Ciryl Gane is stepping up to take on Tom Aspinall, defending the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Amazing fight. Love that it's happening. It's actually here. It's happening tomorrow morning as well. If you're watching in North America, be aware that these fights are in Abu Dhabi across the world. So we are going to be watching this early. The prelims start at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you set your alarm and go to bed early tonight. But quick accountability section. I'm going to start off with saying, yes, I had RDR as one of my best picks last week. I'm absolutely so sorry for whoever wrote that pick. Can't go back from a bad pick, but we could go on and keep moving forward and get some bangers this week. Usually this is a two-person show where I have my friend Adam on, and he's more of the professional, runs the stats, gives the last few fight breakdowns. I'm going to try and do a little mixture of both this week. Take you guys through every fight on this card, the prelims and the main card included. I'm excited. I think we got some potential to make some money this week. But first and foremost, big shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring this live. And here's a quick word from DraftKings for you guys to get closer to all of the action. Hey, Inside Fighting, UFC 321 is this weekend. Tom Aspinall takes on Ciryl Gane for the UFC Heavyweight Championship, and we've partnered up with our friends over at DraftKings to bring you closer to all the action. Right now, if you're a new customer, go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using our promo code INSIDEFIGHTING, bet $5 and receive $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Again, if you're a new customer, go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up using our promo code INSIDEFIGHTING, bet $5 and you'll receive $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Only at DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm not going to lie. Just chatting to somebody over on the TikTok live, he said, should I drink early tomorrow? I think the only answer to that is yes. The first fight on the prelims. Got a banger. We got a banger. Actually, the first fight of the prelims actually fell out to a weight miss or something. I'm not even too sure when the fighters pulled out. So this is officially the first fight on the card. We got Jacqueline Amorim versus Mizuki. And Mizuki, she's pretty decent. She's fought for a while, but this is actually only her second fight in the last 5 years. Her last fight was against Hannah Goldley, and she looked good in that fight. She had 83 strikes. She won that fight, decision fight. She's a good striker. She's well off when it's standing, but her opponent, Jacqueline, very good on the ground, submitting her last three opponents, Pauline Vienna, Vanessa Demopoulos, and Corey McKenna. So she's coming off of 3 submission victories. She's the way more active fighter. She's going to be way better if it goes to the ground. Experience, activity, actually getting finishes. I think she gets her to the ground. I think she finds another submission. But if she knocks her out, that could be a possibility as well, because she hasn't fought in the last 5 years. She's only fought one time. To stay at UFC level, you have to be active. I'm taking Jacqueline Amorim by finish to open up all of my parlays for UFC 321 tomorrow. So I have to wake up extra early, set the alarm clock just to watch this one. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think she starts this card off with a banger performance and gets it done. So simple enough for the first fight on the card. Let's move on to the second fight of the night. My apologies, guys. Names, I am brutal. Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. Let me pull up the graphic here, guys. Bang. 15-2 versus 9-3. The Kazakhstanian fighter, only so many of them in the UFC. In Azat Maxim, I think he's the much better fighter. Mitch is really good. He's UFC level. He also follows the Inside Fighting. I see him. I see the work he's putting in. I think there's possibility for him to be a live dog here. I do, but I think also Azat should put on a performance here. He missed weight, which is a little bit concerning to me. He missed weight today, so maybe there's some struggles. Maybe he's not rehydrating as well as he should be. And maybe Mitch Raposo, with his level being so good, so decent, he's still in the UFC, right? He's still is he winning fights? Lost this decision against Sue Majorgi, who I think got a knockout in his last win. But yeah, Andre Lima actually beat him up pretty bad. I remember that. Close, but Andre Lima won, where I believe Osmont, I'm keep calling him Osmont, but it's not Osmont, it's Azat. Lost to Tagir, lost to Charles Johnson. So he's coming off of some losses himself. A little bit tricky. Is he struggling with the weights? Will he be able to put on a performance that he should in Abu Dhabi? Mitch Raposo, being as tough as he is, I'm not sure. Maybe this one stays on the feet. Maybe Azat can't mix in those takedowns. But maybe he can, and maybe he makes this one look really, really good, really easy. I'm going to lean towards Azat. Maxim, he's a little bit taller, a little bit better with the reach. I think he's a little bit better everywhere. Mitch is really good, but Azat, he is the better fighter, I believe. More potential to grow in the UFC and be one of the guys that gets into the rankings of flyweight and do something in that division. Where Mitch, I'm not sure if that's really his future. Maybe he's a gatekeeper. Maybe he does get this win. Maybe he does gatekeep for a little while. But I do believe in the trajectory of Azat. And, I mean, he's fought some really good guys in Charles Johnson, Tagir Ulabekov. I feel more confident in picking Azat than Mitch Raposo, who just lost to Sue Madajarji. I suck with that last name, and Andre Lima. So give me Azat. I think he's the pick here. Favorites are kind of a little bit too wide. I don't know. Maybe I just single leg this one, leave it out of the parlays, and pick Mitch as an underdog. We'll see. But how are we feeling about this one? Ashes, what do you think? This is on TikTok. He says, what do you think of the fight between Whitaker and Brendan Allen if that happens? Before seeing this Robert Whitaker versus Brendan Allen, before seeing Reiner de Ridder versus Brendan Allen, I was big on, Reiner de Ridder beat Robert Whitaker. How would Brendan Allen look against Robert Whitaker? Probably not as good. Probably would lose to Robert Whitaker. But now I think Brendan Allen is just as good as anybody in the top 5. I totally underestimated him. Dude looked terrific in that fight against RDR. So RDR versus Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker versus Brendan Allen. It'd be a tough fight for Brendan Allen, but it would be a tough fight for Robert Whitaker as well. I'd probably take Brendan Allen in that fight. Good question on TikTok. Let's move on to the next fight. I'm also going to be reading off of ChatGPT for some of these breakdowns just because I think it's so funny. I think it's funny as heck. Chris Barnett versus Hamdi Alabawahab. You heard that right. The fight of the night, the heavyweight fight of the night. This is the real championship fight, heavyweight fight on the card. Chris Barnett. If there was no Chris Barnett on this fight card, is it really the biggest heavyweight fight card of the year? Absolutely not. Chris Barnett's the GOAT. Guys, that's sarcasm. If you don't know sarcasm, this is the definition of sarcasm right here. Chris Barnett and Hamdi, both of these guys are fatties. Hamdi was, I believe he was popped for steroids previously in his career. But I think he has that handled now. He looks fat. And his opponent, Chris Barnett, also super fat. Parker, we will get into Dern versus Verna. But right now we're breaking down the heavyweight fight of the night. This one's incredible. Chris Barnett versus Hamdi. And I'm just going to read on GPT what it says. Adebelehwab, up-and-coming heavyweight, big size, finishing power for sure. Probably can go and get the finish against Chris Barnett if he wants it bad enough. But Barnett, he has a wild style. He has big KO power. He's kind of agile in a way. He's got some agility in his bag, surprisingly enough. Chris Barnett has a unique movement in the cage. He's dangerous, but he could be inconsistent as well. And I definitely don't feel good about picking Chris Barnett in a fight. He's coming off of a loss, I believe, kind of ping-ponging loss, win. But I would not be betting on Chris Barnett in this one, even though I think he has more explosiveness potential, you could say. I think Hamdi should be able to take him down and win the fight that way. But also, he didn't take down Muhammad Usman. Hamdi is a former Olympic wrestler, and he didn't take down Muhammad Usman in his last fight. He just kind of stood there and got beat up by Muhammad Usman. So if Muhammad Usman could beat Hamdi, maybe Chris Barnett could beat Hamdi, but I'm not going to put my money on it. I'd rather put my money on Chris Barnett losing by KO. I just think it's going to happen, guys. I don't believe in Chris Barnett to be that next guy. These both, it's just, why put your money on the fat guys? Probably going to fade this fight. If I had to bet it, probably picking Hamdi. I don't even know if he finds the finish, but he should. He is the better fighter. He has the better wrestling. He does like to strike, but Chris Barnett, he is a little bit crazy on the feet. Don't have to stand with him, take him down, beat him how he loses every fight. So Hamdi's the pick for this one. Moving on. Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Miguel Delgado. I do not like picking against fighters who are coming off of knockout wins. Jose Miguel Delgado, I'm going to drop the middle name now, Jose Delgado, beat Hyder Emil in such impressive fashion in his last fight. If you watched his last fight against Hyder Emil, you know that his finishing potential is no longer potential. It's there. He is a scary, fast, elusive striker who will throw crazy knees down the middle, sharp jabs, big overhand hooks, and get himself into a battle where Nathaniel Wood, his experience in the UFC, he should not be an underdog in this fight. He has had way more experience in the UFC than Jose Delgado. I believe this will be Jose's third fight in the UFC. And this will be number I don't even know for Nathaniel Wood. But there are some rumors that if he loses this one, his contract could be up with the UFC. He's been fighting in the UFC since 2018. So he's had a long career inside the UFC. He believes that he's at his prime right now, and he wants the best guys in the division. Right now, he's getting a true test with Jose Delgado. He is the bigger prospect, but Nathaniel Wood has looked good in his last few. I cannot lie. His fight against Morgan Charrier, I've had Morgan Charrier in that fight. He let me down. Didn't throw as much output as I thought he would. I don't think Jose's game plan is going to be stand on the outside, kind of back foot, counter strike with Nathaniel Wood. You have to pressure Nathaniel Wood. You have to pressure Nathaniel Wood, and I think Jose will be gunning for another first-round knockout. I do think Jose gets the finish. I'm picking Jose by finish. But Nathaniel Wood has some decent wins, right? He beat Morgan Charrier in his last fight. He beat Daniel Pineda in the fight before that. Close fight with Muhammad Naimov. Beat Andre Fili. This is another fight. He beat Charles Jourdain. This is another fight that you may want to leave out of the parlay and just single bet Nathaniel Wood as an underdog, as I don't think that he should be the underdog that he is in this fight. But I understand it because I'm on the hype train of Jose as well, and I'm picking Jose by knockout as well. So in a way, I understand it. But the disrespect to Nathaniel Wood, shake my head. I think they know he's going to lose this one. Give me Jose. Give me Jose by finish. I'm sorry, Nathaniel Wood. Dude's a beast. But he'll probably move on to Cage Warriors or PFL or something like that. It's unfortunate because he came out in his media this week and said he wants to fight the best of the best when he's in his prime. So maybe the UFC doesn't cut him and continues to give him another prospect. But go win a title in another organization because you definitely can. So that's my thoughts on this one. Let's move it on. Prelims are actually looking pretty good on this card. Actually, just reading the quick ChatGPT for Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Delgado. 21-6 before fight. Yeah, Delgado 15-5. Cool. Wood brings a veteran UFC experience, solid all-around game. Delgado, more of exciting prospect with momentum, as I mentioned. GPT is actually leaning Wood via decision. His experience should allow him to navigate Delgado's offense and control the fight. Honestly, that's pretty good prediction from GPT. I am not going to lie. I like the prediction from GPT, Nathaniel Wood by decision, but I'm going against it, and I'm picking Delgado by knockout because I do love taking fighters who are coming off a first-round knockout to continue that and get another knockout in their next fight. So easy enough. I see both lines here for Nathaniel Wood and Delgado bettors, but I'm riding Delgado. Moving on. Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. Both of these fighters had other fights booked this month. Walter Walker was supposed to fight who was he supposed to fight? Muhammad Usman. But Usman got popped for high testosterone levels. Hi, Charity on TikTok. And Louis Sutherland also had an opponent this month who, why did he fall out? He had another opponent, didn't line up, and now he's stepping up to fight Walter Walker. Louis Sutherland, it was against Justin Taffa at UFC Perth. And Justin Taffa said, hey, you know what? I'm too fat. I don't want to cut weight. I'm fine with the UFC cutting me. So he got cut by the UFC. That's all right. Because now we have Louis Sutherland versus Walter Walker, an actual competitive fight. I thought Louis Sutherland was going to smother Justin Taffa, get the takedown, ground and pound, beat his ass. But now against Walter Walker, coming off of UFC, setting UFC records here, guys. 3 heel hook submissions in a row, 3 heavyweight submissions in a row. These are new records, and I think he's going to continue this. He was wearing his necklace with a heel on it. I'm sure that he wants to take Louis Sutherland down here and attack that heel hook. It's 100% going to be his game plan, man. The Walkers are not the smartest bunch. I mean, seriously, like he shot a takedown in his last fight from across the cage. Everybody knew after 2 heel hooks that he wanted to get that 3rd heel hook submission. I think right now he wants to get the 4th one even more than the 3rd. So I think he's going to be shooting crazy takedowns here, similar to his last fight, and attacking for that submission win. And I do think he gets it, but that's just because this is Louis Sutherland's debut in the UFC, guys. Don't overthink this one. Walter Walker, he is looking good. This is not the fight that is going to be the hardest test for Walter Walker, where now he's looking really, really bad, and we all have question marks. No question marks will be answered in this one. He's going to continue his momentum, but eventually there will be a fighter at heavyweight who stops his kind of surging momentum and makes him not look as good as he's been looking, because these takedowns that he's shooting are not the most sound technical takedowns. He's kind of shooting these from range. Eventually, I do think he's going to get caught. Maybe it's against a Chris Barnett, somebody of a higher level than Louis Sutherland. Again, sarcasm. Chris Barnett is a fat ass. He is a fat ass. I didn't want to say it. I was going to hold back, but I damn said it. All right. Moving on. Give me Walter Walker by finish. It's in the parlay. It should be in yours too. Do not overthink this one. Moving on. Actually, before we move on, I forgot again. Let's read what ChatGPT says for this fight. It actually skipped this one and didn't give me anything. All right. Moving on. Ludovic Klein versus Mateusz Rebecki. Odds are having Rebecki as a slight underdog here to Ludovic Klein, but Ludovic Klein coming off a loss in his last fight against Mateusz Gamrot, who has a similar-ish style to Mateusz Rebecki, who is going to forward pressure you, take you down, and try to land ground and pound. But even on the feet, Mateusz Rebecki is a problem. He lost to Chris Duncan in his last bout, but there's moments where Rebecki is winning on the feet. I had Rebecki in that fight against Chris Duncan. I thought he could have won that fight, but the amount of scar tissue he has, when he gets hit once or twice, he opens up crazy. It's a hard one to predict for me because I think Rebecki is going to be in Ludovic Klein's face, but Klein has great takedown defense. Maybe he's able to do more output. I think the damage will look more on the face of Rebecki than Klein, even if Rebecki has more output. How do you score fights? You have to score it off of damage. I think Ludovic Klein's going to be inflicting the more pain in this fight, while Rebecki is going to be trying to have a smart game plan against Klein, take him down. Oh, there goes my screen. Sorry about that, guys. And we're back, hopefully. All right. But I do think I like the style of Ludovic Klein. I like how good he is on the feet. He has great kicks. Will he be able to control the distance? I don't like how he fights on his back foot. He needs to be coming forward and attacking Rebecki, but that's pretty hard because Rebecki's style all relies on his pressure, his pace. I kind of like the underdog pick here in Rebecki. I do. I'm not going to bet this one either, guys. Kind of annoying. I know another one that I said I'm not going to bet on, bro, too early to be going. Whoa. Give me Mateus Rebecki as a dog in this fight. Ludovic Klein didn't impress me in his last fight against Mateus Gamrot. And for what Charles Oliveira did to Mateus Gamrot, maybe the hype there for Mateus Gamrot isn't as big as I thought it was. But if Mateus Gamrot just Hamzat Chimaev his way to a victory against Klein, takedowns, control time, maybe Rebecki could do the same. Try to keep his face clean in this one. But again, Ludovic Klein has really good striking. He could pop a knee, then sparks out Rebecki. I'm just not sure. I'm leaning the underdog in this one. Maybe I bet it as a single leg, but this one will not touch the parlays, guys. Fade this one for your parlays. I also like this one not to go the distance. I think Rebecki could light him out. I think Klein could light him out. I think Klein could find a submission finish. I think Rebecki could find a submission finish. So I like this one to not go the distance. If I were to bet this one, that's probably the play I would bet. Or I'd lean Rebecki by a slight underdog favorite there. Hi, Mohammed in the YouTube chat. Moving on. Actually, let's read what ChatGPT said. It's not often I do this. Usually I have Adam to give the more breakdown. But let's just see what it says. It says Klein is known for aggressive striking, finishing instincts. Rebecki more of a European regional standout, making his way up. Less proven at the higher level. He's proven. Klein will look to impose pace and power. Rebecki will try to survive early and bring a longer game. I favor Klein, likely by KO or TKO, given his finishing mindset. See, I like that, but I think Rebecki's such a live dog here, guys. I do. Shout out to GPT, but I'm going against ChatGPT again. We'll see how that does for me. Going on to the next fight on the prelims here. We have a good one. 2 more good fights on the prelims. I'm not going to lie. I'm loving these prelims. Ikram Aliskerov versus Hong Song Park. A lot of people are kind of iffy on Ikram Aliskerov now because he has that knockout loss to Robert Whittaker not so long ago. But I believe it was a weird circumstance for Ikram in that fight. He was supposed to fight at the UFC Apex. They flew him to the Apex. He was cutting weight. That fight didn't go through. They said, hey, go fight in UFC Abu Dhabi. They fly him out to Abu Dhabi. He has to cut weight. He's in the main event against Robert Whittaker. He gets knocked out in the first round by an uppercut. That stuff happens. You can't judge somebody's whole career off of that. He went on from that to fight Andre Muniz and get a first-round knockout. And he has knockouts, I believe, before that as well against Warley Alves and Phil Hawes. So he is kind of a knockout machine with great wrestling. He has great striking, doesn't tend to really use it. But, I mean, he doesn't really tend to use his wrestling. I think I said striking there, but he loves to strike. Youngsung Park, he's the fighting turtle, man. He's durable. I'll give him that. The turtle is durable. He's 2 years older in age. He's coming off of a good win against Ismail Nuradiev. He also has a win against Brad Tavares, who's a great striker. So he's good on the feet. He makes it a fight. He's good. but I think that's all he is. I think he's good. I think Ikram should be a lot better here in the striking, wrestling, really any department. I'd like to see Ikram rush in, go to Abu Dhabi, get a finish, show the people that get on the mic, show that you could be like this guy in the division again. He's a bigger middleweight, 6 feet. He's strong, great wrestling. Ikram's the pick here. I feel good about Ikram. I'm putting this one on the parlays. I'm putting him to win by finish on the parlays. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, guys. Don't overthink it. Tapping into ChatGPT, it says Alascarov's a 16-2 pro record. Park veteran middleweight with good striking and experience in the UFC. Yes, he has a lot of UFC fights. Style Alaskarov brings heavy grappling, wrestling with power. Park is a more technical striker with experience and good takedown defense. Prediction, it says I lean Alaskarov because his wrestling and finishing ability will give him a slight edge. If he can impose that early, expect maybe a late stoppage or decision win for him. Me and ChatGPT are seeing this one the same. I think Alaskarov is better all around. Hong Song Park, you're good. You're entertaining. You make fights fun to watch, but you're not going to score good in this one. And Ikram Alaskarov is probably going to submit you or knock you out. Moving on. Miranda, welcome back. Just doing a little pick show for UFC fights tomorrow, as I will be live tomorrow, guys. Early on in the morning, this fight card starts at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm going to be up early watching these fights live, hopefully winning some bread. But this is why I want to hop on, get the pick show to you guys so you know what picks I'm rocking with. Moving on to the feature bout on the prelims, we have Nasrat Hakprast versus Quinlan Salkilled. I am horrible names. Nasrat versus Quinlan. This is exciting. Quinlan has 2 fights, I believe, only in the UFC, coming from Dana White Contender Series, Australian, knockout power, good striking, fun to watch. In his last fight, he had 8 takedowns landed, so now people are saying he's well-rounded. He could take fighters to the ground, but I believe he was taking this fight to the ground in his last fight because he was having problems on the feet. He was able to look good on the ground, but against somebody like Nasrat Hakprast, who has many, many, many fights in the UFC. Many, many, many fights. This ChatGPT didn't want to give me any breakdown on this one as well. But he has a lot of fights in the UFC. I want to see how many. We're just going to say a lot more than Quinlan, okay? Nasrat's been around, and he's won some close ones. He's been in some tough fights. It's been wars, but he's been able to walk out with the W beside his name, which makes me think that he's going to have enough in the tank to get past Quinlan Scatlet. He beat Esteban Rivovic. A lot of people said that fight was close. I did as well, but he got it done. Decision win against Jared Gordon. A lot of people said it was close. Outstruck by Jared Gordon, but got it done. Gets the win. So even in these close fights, he's able to brawl his way into an impressive win. My pick for this card, my pick for this fight, is for it to not go the distance. I think both of these fighters have explosive hands. I think they're both going to be, like Nasrat could shoot a takedown or 2 and land it. Quinlan, I'm not too sure if his takedowns are going to be there. I could see Nasrat hurting Quinlan, getting him up against the cage, hurting him, dropping him, getting the TKO stoppage. But I could also almost see that exact pathway to victory for Quinlan. So it's really hard for me to pick a fighter here and feel good about it. The odds are saying it's pretty much a pick me, guys. They're even on the odds. I'm going to slightly lean Nasrat for his experience. And he wins these kind of fights, man. He does. Even if it's a decision, I think he wins. Yeah. I don't feel great about it, though. Quinlan, you could definitely get this one done, but Esteban Rivovic wasn't able to get him out of there. He had him bloodied up crazy. Will Quinlan be able to kind of implement that kind of damage? I'm not too sure. But give me Nasrat in this fight if I had to pick. But my play that I'm going with on the parlays, guys, this fight not to go the distance. I think it's out plus 140. The best odds you'll see on this fight. I'm locking it on my parlay if you want to ride. This fight's not go the distance. Going into the main card. Let's go into the main card here, guys. These are the fights that we have to do good on. At least I want to do good on. And I think we will do good on. Number 7th ranked, Alexandra Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. 14-5 for Rakic. He's had some hard losses in his last few. Some really tough losses against Yuri Prochazka where he got knocked out but looked kind of decent. He had a close striking fight with Magomed Ankalaev until I think Magomed got the finish. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was finished by Magomed Ankalaev as well. No, he went to decision. Okay. A little bit better, but he does have that knockout loss with Yuri, and the fight before that, a knockout loss from Jan Blachowicz. So, a little bit scary, a little bit concerning when your opponent's an undefeated fighter who's also scored a knockdown in all of his UFC fights. Knocked out Brenson Ribeiro in his last bout. Knocked out Alonzo Menifield in his bout before that. Should have got the knockout against Dustin Jacoby, but got the win there anyways. KO against Devin Clark, KO against Talon. He is very good on the feet. He's a shorter guy, 5'10" against 6'4". I understand people picking Rakic here. The odds are pretty split even. But Rakic is a little scary. When you catch his chin, he does get rocked. He does get wobbled. And that's concerning for me because there's no doubt in my mind that Azamat is going to land a big upper hand, a big up strike. You know he's striking up in this one. His opponent's 6'4", he's 5'10". He's gonna find his chin eventually. Will Rakic be able to control the distance, fight his fight on the outside, pick him apart? Maybe he gets the knockout here. I think I do have one parlay where I have him winning by a knockout. But that's not the pick here. Azamat Murzakanov. Azamat Murzakanov. Somehow I said it better the first time than the last time. Is what it is. But I do believe in Azamat in this fight. Abu Dhabi, he's going to land the harder strikes. He's going to be the one forward pressure. He's going to be the one being able to land takedowns. There's no way that Rakic scores more than Azamat. He's going to be on the back foot throwing counter jabs and 1-2s. Azamat's going to be in his face going for takedowns. I don't see this being the kind of fight that Rakic can win, unfortunately. Styles kind of remind me of a fight that took place last week against, it was on the prelims, against Azamat Bekaev versus Yurzarai Belgorari. Yurzarai was way taller. Azamat trained at American Top Team, great wrestling, but wasn't able to find the distance and find those shots to really rock Yurzarai, and Yurzarai was really able to use his kickboxing background to win this fight. But I don't think Rakic's kickboxing is up there with the tops of the UFC level, like the Pereiras and such, like Ciryl Adesanya. I think the winner of this should fight Ciryl Adesanya, if I'm being completely honest. I think that could be a banger. If Rakic gets a nice knockout win, put him up against Ciryl Adesanya. If Azamat gets a big win, give him up against Ciryl Adesanya. Azamat's the pick. He's going to score more in this fight. He's going to be forward pressuring. There's just no way that Rakic could win this fight unless it's by knockout. That's really how I feel about it. Pretty simple. Let's see what ChatGPT says about it. They say, Rakic, experienced UFC light heavyweight coming off of losses and looking to rebound. Murzakanov, rising prospect, less proven at UFC level. I mean, he hasn't fought the big names in like Yuri and Jan, but this is a big step up in names, I guess, for him. It's a good fight stylistically for him as well. Good kick. Rakic is a good kickboxer. I would say he's good, not elite. Uses leg kicks well. Technical striking, yes. Mirzakhanov, explosive. Has finishing ability. Upward trajectory. Let's go. Prediction from GPT says Eileen Mirzakhanov to upset Rakic. Has the tools, but inconsistent. Mirzakhanov may bring more hunger, pressure. Prediction, Mirzakhanov by KO, TKO. Things to watch, it says Mirzakhanov's power versus Rakic's leg kicks. And Rakic must stay disciplined and avoid getting reckless early. I totally agree with GPT on this one. We see it the same. I like this one to not go the distance as well. I like this fight to not go the distance as well. Okay. Moving on. Second fight on the main card here. We got another heavyweight bout, a banger of a bout. Alexander Volkov coming off of a robbery loss to Ciryl Gane, which should have had him placed in the main event of this card. Fighting against Jailton Almeida, who has amazing ground game, amazing control time. But as Daniel Cormier would say, if you guys are paying attention to the media, he had a little side interview with Tom Aspinall. Didn't know he still had his mic on, but said, hey, Tom, you're about to go on a generational run. These fighters suck. These heavyweights suck. You're going to have to fight Jailton Almeida next. And you know, he's not a fighter. Daniel Cormier literally said Jailton Almeida is not a fighter. And in a way, I kind of believe, I'm kind of agreeing with him, because Almeida's not going to just stand and bang with Volkov. He's going to immediately shoot for a double leg takedown. Volkov is going to have to fight him off with the elbows, similar to Curtis Blade, who got the knockout on Jailton Almeida. I think Volkov is a lot stronger than Curtis Blades. I think Volkov, we have a chat on TikTok, says Volkov wins by decision, brother. I think Volkov could even win by a knockout. I'm not on the Almeida hype train at all. I agree with Daniel Cormier. I don't think he's a fighter. He's great at what he does, but he's not champion level ready. He's not going to defeat a Tom Aspinall. He's not going to defeat a John Jones. He's not going to defeat an Alex Pereira, and I don't think he beats an Alexander Volkov. 6'7", they have him listed here as 6'7". Some say he's 6'9", against the 6'3", Jailton Almeida. The only way he's going to win is by sub, 100%. Jailton Almeida is a grappler. He has heavy jiu-jitsu. He's going to try and get you down with some wrestling, a double leg. Once he gets you to the ground, he's going to be trying to find your back and find a choke. Boring fighter against exciting fighter in Volkov, striking, technical, kicks, long kicks. He's going to teep him to the body, probably hurt him. I think Volkov is the smart pick here. He is the live underdog, almost a 2-1 underdog. I love him as an underdog. I think that fuels him inside, that the UFC doesn't recognize him as being the top guy yet. He was robbed in his last fight. He's 100% the pick here. Am I putting this in my parlays? No, I'm not. I'm scared. All right. Jailton Almeida, although I'm saying he's not a fighter, he's not a fighter. I agree with Daniel Cormier. He could still implement his game plan and win fights. And we've seen him do it. He's going to shoot the takedown and he's going to grapple. And I'm not loving it. So give me Alexander Volkov quickly before I give you my parlay. Just reading on what ChatGPT says for this fight. Almeida, up-and-coming heavyweight with momentum. Volkov, veteran heavyweight with many knockouts, big size and experience. Styles, Almeida, balanced finishing mindset. Volkov, tall, rangy boxer. Good heavy damage. Prediction and notes. This one is tricky. I lean Volkov slightly given experience, but Almeida's momentum could surprise. I'll pick Volkov by decision or second round TKO versus Almeida by upset if he could stuff the takedowns. GPT is saying Volkov decision or late TKO. For my parlay on TikTok, I got you, bro. I see your comment. I got you. I really have been running through this whole card, so go watch this back on YouTube if you want it, Inside Fighting. Jacqueline Amorim, I have her finishing Mizuki in the first fight of the night. Azat Maxim winning that fight. I have Jose Delgado defeating Nathaniel Wood. I have Walter Walker winning by submission. I have Rebecki as an underdog against Ludovic Klein. I have Urkram Alaskarov to finish Park Hung Song. I have Nazareth Hotparas and Quinlan Scatlin to not go the distance. For the main card, you just saw me pick Azamat Muraskanov against Rakic, and we're picking Volkov against John Almeida. So 2 underdogs to start the main card. Not sure how great that's going to go, but that's how I roll, man. That's how I roll. Moving on. The Coco main event of the card, which is called the feature fight of the main card here. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. Mario Batista, a lot of people don't like the way he fights simply because he went the decision with Jose Aldo. Jose was piecing him up on the feet. He takes him up against the cage and defeats one of the Hall of Famers, the GOAT, Jose Aldo, by a nasty, boring decision, holding him up against the cage. Smart IQ fighter in Mario Batista, getting the toughest test of his career against Umar Nurmagomedov. Fraud checked the hell out of Patchy Mix in his debut fight. But Patchy hasn't really proven anything since. So maybe Patchy just made Mario look better than he was. But he does have a good win against Ricky Simone. Ricky Simone was proving himself to be a guy in the division now as well. He defeated Damon Blackshear. These guys that the UFC think are going to be the next guys in the bantamweight division, they feed him to Mario Batista, and he says, no. I still want to be that guy to come up in the division and defeat these top guys and get my title shot. So huge spot for Mario Batista. But if you're betting Mario Batista, gross, dude. Gross. This is why I'm here to help you. Umar Nurmagomedov is the pick. Even at the press conference, he's like, Dana, what do I have to do to make this fight a title contender? Well, Dana was like, well, you got to go make it look like you're next in line to fight for the title. He said, okay, Dana, I fight. I give you fight. So I think Umar is going to come in here. I think he's going to defeat Mario Batista, even if it goes the distance. Mario Batista is tough. I'm unsure about the power behind Umar's hands. I don't think it's going to be enough to knock out Mario Batista, but I do see him going for a lot of takedown attempts. I see Mario being difficult to take down at first in the first round, but I think the second round he lands it early. Third round, he lands it even earlier, and I think he wins the decision. I'd like for him to get the finish. I'd like for him to be unanimously next in line to fight Merab. I want to see that rematch. Apparently, he wasn't at 100% health in the first fight. Umar Nurmagomedov's the pick, man. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I believe it's only 3 rounds as well, which honestly could be an advantage for Mario Batista if he's able to defend that takedown in the first round, land more output, maybe hurt Umar a bit, have a big first round. It could really put Umar in a bad position for the next 2. So 3 rounds, I think that favors Mario Batista at almost a plus. He's a plus 455 underdog. Yikes. I don't blame anybody for picking Mario single leg, but don't put him in your parlay. Umar is the better fighter all around, striking, grappling, takedown, defense, offense. Just he's better everywhere. I want to see what GPT says for this one. Nurmagomedov 18-1. Batista on an 8-fight winning streak. Styles, Nurmagomedov, strong wrestling break, Sambo background, good grappler, improved striking. Batista, explosive, good offensive striking, momentum fighter coming up. Prediction, I lean Nurmagomedov to win due to strong takedown grappling advantage. Batista's momentum is real, but I see Nurmagomedov controlling the range and the pace. Prediction, Nurmagomedov by decision or late finish on the ground. I see it the exact same way. Says keys to watch here. Batista striking early could keep Nurmagomedov off the takedown, ? I agree. If he could do that, he's going to look pretty good coming into the second and third round. But Nurmagomedov's cardio, if he drags Batista down early, he might find that finish, and he probably will drag him to a long, grueling decision. You got to respect the odds sometimes. It's hard when you see a fighter favorited this big. You're like, maybe I should just pick the other guy. Don't. Not in Abu Dhabi. Not with Nurmagomedov. Believe in this one. It's the pick. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Slight underdog in Verna Jandiroba. Mackenzie Dern, great wrestler, jiu-jitsu, trained with her father her whole life. Everybody knows, exceptional Brazilian jiu-jitsu, very dangerous on the mat. She's very good with submissions, submitting her last opponent, Amanda Ribas, with a armbar. Very impressive win in her last fight. She was counted out in that one. She's not counted out in this one. But Verna Jandiroba, I believe she's coming off of a crazy fight win streak. She's looking better and better. Her striking's getting better. She looks more sound on the ground. She's actually going for finishes herself. This fight took place, I believe, 5 years ago during COVID. Both these fighters have evolved immensely since then. I like the slight underdog in Verna. I have a few parlays live with her, but my main parlay, the one that I put the juice behind, give me Mama Dern. I'm a big Mommy Dern guy. I think she is the most attractive fighter in the UFC. There, I said it. There's a reason why her face-off against Verna Jandiroba got over 2 million plays, and Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane got like 300,000. There's a reason, because she is the face of the female division. A prettier face than maybe Valentina Shevchenko and Kayla Harrison. So, big spot for Mackenzie Dern. I'd love to see her get the gold wrapped around her, and I think that she can. I think that her striking is going to be just stronger. She's going to be a little bit quicker on the feet. She's going to be landing the harder strikes. She's going to cut Verna before she gets cut. Right? She, even on the ground, I think she lands on top position first before Verna does. But as this fight goes on, I'm curious to see where the cardio is at for both these fighters. How do they look in those championship rounds? Will Verna be able to get out of that top position, reverse it into a top position of her own, and land some ground and pound and look for a finish? I'm not too sure. I like this fight. Because I'm not sure Mackenzie Dern would have got her shot at the title if Weili Zhang was still holding down this division. I think the next shot would have went to Verna. I'm not sure if Mackenzie Dern would have won her next fight against whoever. I'm happy to see her getting her shot at the gold. She deserves it more than anyone. I love Mackenzie Dern. Give me Mackenzie Dern. But I also think Verna's live here, guys, as an underdog. We'll see what GPT says about this one. I'm rooting for Dern, though. Dern's 5-1 since their last fight against each other. So she's 5-4 since their last fight. So she's kind of up and down in her career since these two have last fought, while Jandiroba is 6-1 since their last fight. So she's put on a little win streak together. Exceptional Brazilian jiu-jitsu, as I mentioned, from Mackenzie Dern. Very, very dangerous on the mat. Submissions are a major part of her game. Jandiroba, also a strong grappler, finisher, well-rounded, consistent improvements over time. That's where I'm concerned, because I do see the improvements from both of these fighters, and I think that Jandiroba is excelling just a little bit faster and just a little bit more than Mackenzie Dern. So it's a little bit scary for me. Dern beat Jandiroba in their last fight in 2020 by unanimous decision. Since then, Jandiroba has been more consistent, while Dern has had her ups and downs. Prediction is in notes. This one is closer. I give a slight edge to Jandiroba because of her momentum and consistency. But if Dern imposes her elite jiu-jitsu early, she can win. My prediction, Jandiroba by decision or late sub. Key things to watch. Will Dern take it to the mat early and control? I'm not too sure. Will Dern want to stand and bang because test her striking a little bit? Hurt Verna first before she goes for the takedown? I'm not sure. Good question, ChatGPT. Can Jandiroba keep it standing? Stay away from deep submission traps? Hopefully, if she wants to win. And grappling exchanges will be decisive, I agree. We'll see who has more control time in this fight. I think it should be Mackenzie Dern. But Verna deadly on the ground too. Great with the reversals and such. It's going to be a grappling one to watch. We're going to see that camera zoom of Mackenzie Dern when she's in full mount, going for something. They always love to do the Mackenzie Dern booty shot. It's going to happen, and that's why she's my champ. Go Mackenzie Dern, but Verna's live. I have her live in a lot of parlays. This one's tricky for me. If you're betting this one, I'd probably tell you to lean Mommy Dern. I think it's her time. I do. But I got to throw some money on Verna. I think she's that good. Going on to the fight that everyone's here for, to hear the take on. This fight, it's crazy to see Tom Aspinall actually fighting. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, over a year and a half. So to see him back fighting, it's actually happening tomorrow morning in Abu Dhabi against Ciryl Gane. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. If you want to hear our other partner's take on this fight, his name's Hayden. He runs an amazing fighter interview page called Man on the Mat, where he wears a suit and does a hilarious interview while fighting fighters. It's a hilarious show. He's been on with Jim Miller and Mike Gall and some really funny guys. So go tap into that Inside Picks episode with Hayden, where he breaks down this main event. But Ciryl Gane, I don't think he deserves to be in this spot. How many title shots are we going to give Ciryl Gane? It is pretty crazy that he's fought in Francis Ngannou. He's fought John Jones, and now he's fighting Tom Aspinall. He has the experience against these top guys. He has a style that could win him these fights. If he could withstand Tom Aspinall's crazy pressure, use that momentum of Tom Aspinall to take him down, to have Tom on his back in this fight would be a win in itself. But I think he's going to have a similar approach to how Jailton Almeida would fight this championship fight, which is why I don't want to see either of them. I think Ciryl Gane versus Jailton Almeida is a way better fight and I think Tom Aspinall versus Alexander Volkov is a way better fight than this. I really do, because Ciryl Gane is not going to be as willing to strike and stand with Tom Aspinall, who has a estimated fight time of like a minute. Like his average fight time is like a minute. Are we being real here? Ciryl Gane is not going to want to stand and bang with this guy. Tom Aspinall is going to run at him just like he did to Curtis Blades. And if he even catches for him slightly, he's going to go all out in that first round for a finish. Now, if he doesn't get the finish in the first round, how does he look in the third, the fourth, the fifth? Yes, I missed the second, but how does he look in those next rounds? It's the question that's probably not going to be answered, because I don't think Ciryl Gane has the tank or the style to bring that 5-round fight to Tom Aspinall. Like Daniel Cormier said, the division kind of sucks, and I kind of agree. If you just simply looked at these two fighters on the street, you would probably think Ciryl Gane's the better fighter, but it's just the hands of Tom Aspinall are not to be played with, man. If he touches you, it's likely that you're going to see stars. I like Tom Aspinall by finish, and I do think he gets it done under 2.5. I don't see this hitting the championship rounds. If it does, that's a win for Ciryl Gane, honestly. Nobody's been able to really do that to Tom, so to see this one go longer into the fight would be sick. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Ciryl Gane's at any risk of knocking out or submitting Tom Aspinall, but maybe he gets some ground control time. Maybe he gets some clinch time control. I don't know. I don't even see him taking down Tom. I really don't. Maybe I'm underestimating Gane, and maybe he gets a crazy good performance, but I don't see it happening. He's almost a 3-1 underdog for a reason. Tom, don't let us down, man. Don't let us down. You are the face of this division. If Ciryl Gane somehow wins another championship fight off of how the hell did he even get in this position, I'm going to be dumbfounded on my Saturday morning. Let's see what ChatGPT says about this one. Aspinall 15-3 in his pro career. Nice. Not bad. Not bad. Gane is 13-2. Aspinall, explosive heavy hitter, finishes a very high percent of his fights early. good all-around striking plus grappling for a heavyweight. Got to remember, Tom Aspinall has been training a lot of grappling. He's known for a while that his opponent's going to be Ciryl Gane and not Jon Jones. So I'm sure he's seen Gane training his wrestling and stepped his own wrestling up a few notches himself. So I'm confident that Aspinall will be able to defend takedowns as well in this fight if he has to. Aspinall beat the likes of Sergey Pavlovich in 69 seconds for the interim title. Gane lost in 2 previous title fights to Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou and is looking for redemption. Yes, Gane's only 2 losses in his career against Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou for the championship belt. This is his time at redemption. Don't think he's going to get it done. I lean Aspinall to win. This is ChatGPT, by the way, but I also do. His power, explosiveness, and finishing gear give him an edge. Yes. Gane has class and could win if he keeps it technical and drags it into the later rounds, but I expect Aspinall to impose his pace early and perhaps get the finish. Aspinall by KO, TKO, or late stoppage. Will Gane avoid early damage and pose rhythm? Can Aspinall take Gane to the ground and defend any off-balance striking game? Conditioning and fight IQ if it goes deep? Gane may have the better cardio, but Aspinall likely wants to end it early. I agree. We got Bag in the chat saying Ciryl has good footwork in UFC heavyweight division, so it's difficult for Tom Aspinall to finish Ciryl Gane, and maybe a first decision anonymous loss or 4th, 5th round finish loss for Tom. Bag, I commend you if you are betting and putting your money on that, but a little risky. I think, like I said, I think Ciryl Gane doesn't deserve to be in this spot. He hasn't proven it. He's not coming off of a big win. I think Ciryl Gane versus Jailton Almeida was the fight to make. I really do, as they're more stylistically matched in the grappling, where I think Alexander Volkov got screwed against Ciryl Gane in his last fight. Should have been him in this main event spot, who brings a really, really more fun, striking, entertainment kind of fight where this fight's just going to be boring. It's going to be Ciryl Gane trying to get a takedown while Tom Aspinall is beating him up, punching his face in. It's funny, the media day going into this one, the press conference, Tom Aspinall was asked how he sees this fight going. He says he's going to stick to the jab and take this to a long decision, clinch him up against the cage, but it's just, he's literally having the time of his life. He finally gets the fight again. He's going to get the knockout. I truly do believe it. But again, he has good wrestling too. If Gane gets him down, maybe he could reverse onto his back and get a choke or something. Would be impressive to see. Ciryl Gane also has a good elbow striking skill in heavyweight and good reach and good jab. That's the thing, though. He's good. Ciryl Gane is good everywhere. There's no denying he's good. Tom Aspinall is great. Jon Jones is great. He lost. Francis Ngannou is great, and he lost. It's just not looking good for Ciryl Gane. This is kind of a setup spot for Tom Aspinall, at least how I see it, or else somebody else would be in this position. Even Alex Pereira is a more exciting fight, I think, than Ciryl Gane. Bro, love and support from India, bro. Respect. Tomorrow, I'll be live early in the morning. I'll be live at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, which may be like a chill time for you to come join and support the live tomorrow morning. I'll be live again, guys, in like 12 hours, 12, 13 hours. I'll be live for another 5-6 hours. So we're going to be watching the fights early tomorrow morning. But this is pretty much my breakdown of these fights. Just to go over the main card again quickly to give you guys like the best picks and parlays that I would do for this card. Let's see. I got Tom Aspinall by finish. Let's start it there. I think he's levels above Ciryl Gane. Sorry, not sorry. Tom Aspinall by finish. I'm going to skip the co-main event because I'm not positive on that one. Tom Aspinall by finish. Umar Nurmagomedov, Alexander Volkov, Asmat Mirzakhanov. Prelims, I got Nasrat Haqparast versus Quinlan Skidland, not going to decision. So that fight to end inside the distance. Urkan Alaskarov versus Park Jong Young. Urkan Alaskarov to win by finish. I think he gets the turtle out of there. I got an underdog pick in Rebecca against Ludovic Klein. I got Walter Walker continuing his momentum with another submission win. I got Jose Delgado, the prospect, over the experience of Nathaniel Wood. Chris Barnett is a fatty, and he's going to lose to Hamdi. Azat Maxim over Mitch Raposo, but I don't know. Something about Mitch. It's just weight miss by Maxim. Something about this fight's a little sketchy, but I am riding the Kazakhstan fighter in Abu Dhabi. Give me Azat Maxim and Jacqueline Amorim to open up this card with a big, impressive submission win of her own. So the guys, that's the whole show. Insider betting. What a week. Thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring this show. To anybody betting and watching the UFC card tomorrow, I'll be live. But remember, wake up early or you're going to miss this one. I'm going to miss it. It's in Abu Dhabi. Prelims start at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's 6 a.m. Pacific. So you got to wake up early to watch these ones. I'll be live. I'll be tapped in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we win a bag. Take care. Love you guys. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. What a show. Peace.